Should we have a little trudelutt, as you say in Swedish, right? Maybe some music to get us started. No? Okay, I will not sing to you, but please feel welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a nice lunch. I hope you got some coffee. I hope you had some sunshine and that you're ready for the afternoon. I'm super excited about this afternoon. I think we were off to a good start during this morning. We had some really interesting talks up here. We talked about the absolutely defining moments in time that we are living in. We talked about how capital can fund culture and technology. We looked into storytelling, the futures, not only one, but several. We also talked about completely new ways of experiencing theater and art, and we looked into AI and the impact of technology. So now we are throwing ourselves into the area of opera. Opera is dead, long live the opera, our speakers state. And this is about how we can reimagine the opera houses as a new thing for our communities and our societies. And we will start with a keynote by Claudio Rimele, who is a futurist, a creative director and a curator, and Victoria Dietrich from the Open House Zurich, who works with digital development and audience engagement. And they will have a keynote, and then after that we will also have a panel, and I hope that you can all engage also in having a good conversation. So please welcome Claudia and Victoria to the stage.
Yeah, welcome, Jana. Welcome, Kultech. We want to start with a short video.
Presto, su, Mario, su, presto, andiamo. Su, Mario, guarda, finire così.
So, the clicker doesn't work. So, yeah, what you've just seen is the final death scene of Tosca, one of Giacomo Puccini's most famous opera. It's where the protagonist Tosca realizes that her lover is actually dead and it's not just a fake death. And she's so desperate that she jumps herself into death, jumping by from Castel Sant'Angelo. And so, as you might have known, opera just loves to die. Clicker. And yeah, it has given us a variety of very unnatural deaths in all their plots. I need a clicker to work, unfortunately. Okay, so opera is full of violent death. For example, in Madame Butterfly, where she stabs herself, or in La Bohème, where she dies of tuberculosis, or that's my personal nightmare, Aida, who buries herself with the waltz with her lover. And the only difference between a natural death and an opera death is, in opera, mostly the protagonists have time to sing in their death, and sometimes they even sing until 15 minutes until they're finally dead. And so yeah, why are we starting with death? Opera loves to die, and on the next day on stage to reborn again. And this is something we found really interesting, and we wanted to break the ice with you and talk about why in the opera that means also transformation and create something new.
Exactly. When we say opera is dead, it's actually not the art form we mean today. The music, the voices, the staging potentially still has the power to move us. Maybe the clip was a little funny, but sometimes it also touches us deeply. But however, what's super important to say that obviously also we have a responsibility and a need to reflect on the art form itself. Topics of repertoire, topics of representation, but that would be for a different talk. What we mean today when we say opera is dead is the institution itself, and how we believe that it can transform and open new gateways to reach a new audience. For too long, opera houses have been seen, and maybe even seen themselves, as ivory towers, being associated with being elitist, not for me, just a little too distant and inaccessible.
So historically, however, that was not always the case. In the beginning, opera houses weren't these highbrow formal spaces, but places for gambling, for talking, for dating, for getting drunk. And yeah, how can we reclaim that? Maybe without getting too drunk, and maybe with less focus on social status.
Today, we just have countless ways to spend our time, and our attention is quite literally pulled into many different directions all at the same time. Our world moves fast, it shares, connects, and creates meaning in completely new ways. And yeah, we just want to ask ourselves, how can opera actually fit into this, and maybe also offer an occasional needed antidote. At large, we are craving human connection, but we spend so much time on our devices. So it's also not surprising that this concept of the third space is discussed over and over again. So we were thinking that the challenge for opera really is to think about how can we find creative ways to blend the analog and the digital in ways that they complement each other, rather than having this fear that digital is going to replace it all.
When we started collaborating in 2017, I was co-editor-in-chief of iHeart Berlin, and a digital magazine that informs and connects Berliners with different subcultural communities. Through that, we met each other and started to work with each other. Victoria was working for Staatsoper Linden as head of press and social media, and we thought about how we can create new formats where we can combine our expertise. So we want to engage digital communities, but also make real experiences accessible in the opera.
Ooh, that was us, you skipped us.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So with that in mind, we asked ourselves, how can we reach new audiences in an authentic way?
And how can we use technology to